and you probably don't want to go walking around in society looking like Peter Rabbit. It's how you make a statement at parties. And if someone calls you a babushka, you know what? Let them think what they want to. Hi YouTube friends, you've just stopped by my channel, Girl of a Different Era. My name is Mindy Grace and it is so wonderful to see all your faces again. I have to apologize for my last video, it was just really lousy and unprofessional, so I'm hoping this one will be much more engaging for you all. And it's a subject that's very near and dear to my heart, and that is hair scarves, especially vintage hair scarves. That's kind of my go-to style, and I've had some people ask me, so how do you tie them? Do you buy them pre-tied? Like, what's the game here? So today I am just super excited to share with you guys my secrets on how I tie these scarves. It is the perfect way to get the vintage look without having to do hair curls and everything like that. So without any further ado, let's get right into tying this style. This first style is one I actually wear quite a lot, and it's basically like my go-to thing. So first off, we're starting with a about 29-inch square scarf. It can vary in size, but I just want to give you a guesstimation of what we're going for here. The first step we do with most of these styles, you will find out, is fold this into a triangle. Then we just place it evenly on the back of your head. So you want these tails to kind of match up, and your little triangle thing to flop right in front of your face, in front of your nose. As you get better at this, you can also do like variances and kind of tie the knot to the side. So now we've got this even, we're just going to bring these two ends up and tie them on a single knot right on your head here. Kind of pull the triangle so we've got a nice tight thing here. And just flip it backwards and kind of hold it as you grab these two other ends and tie them together. We now have 3 loose ends, and you probably don't want to go walking around in society looking like Peter Rabbit. So let's just take the middle end and this other end, and as you can see, we've got like little pockets that the scarf folds. When you fold it, it makes these little hiding pockets, and you just tuck those ends in each pocket. And if you've got kind of like these floofy things, they don't look very professional. So just lift up your scarf and tuck them right under like that. So you want a very clean, tucked in look, which is what we've got here. And voila, you have just tied a 1940s style hair scarf. Good for you. I'll give you just a quick once around. And there you have it, the first style and kind of my go-to everyday look. This next style is that classic big bow. Some people might say it's Minnie Mouse. Don't care what they say. And we're starting off with a about 35-36-inch square scarf, and you want something kind of big for this style. This scarf is a bit of a nuisance to me because it's super slippery, so it's always trying to move around when I'm tying it. So maybe something a little less slippery than this, but you don't want it too thick for the bow. So like last time, we are folding it into a triangle, placing it evenly on the back of our heads. Just pulling that tight. Anyways, and now you can see what I'm doing. We're going to tie a knot right on the center like we did last time. And kind of pull it as tight as you can. And now this is going to just be flipped backwards and tucked randomly into one of those folds just for the moment, because we want it out of our way. Now we're going to bring up one end bring up another end and just tie a bow like you would on your shoe or anything else you tie bows on. And keep that end tucked back. And you can kind of decide if you want to keep the bow ends out or back. I think I'm going to tuck this one back as well, but leave this tiny little one just hanging out. Any loose little bubbles you want to tuck back if you can. Like I said, this scarf is just really slippery, so it might be a little trickier. You know, you can fluff this thing up, tilt it to the side. That looks just really cute. You've got like, you know, something in your face style, and a style like this can even work if you've got pin curls in or something, and for some reason you have to go out in society, or you just want to look cute while lounging around the house. Okay, so you've got everything tucked in, and we have our bow style complete. Now when doing this one, don't get too discouraged if it takes you a few times, because there were times I tried and it just didn't work, and I went to the party in a different style. So don't be discouraged if this is a tricky one. And you totally don't have to try to start with this one, but a less slippery scarf will help you out a ton. You just have to find the right fabric. Okay, and I'll give you kind of a once around of this. There is the bow style. And like I said, people do this differently. Sometimes they have a scarf that's halfway shaped. You can even buy scarves like this already pre-tied and everything. But I do encourage you at some point to definitely attempt this style, and I'd love to hear about how it goes. First off, we are starting with about a 29-inch square scarf again, folding it in half, and this style, let me tell you, is pretty easy to achieve, so if you're a beginner, it's the one you want to go for. We want to, instead of putting it in the back of our head, we're going to center it on the front of our heads. And like I said, if it's not perfectly centered, that's okay. Now, this is a style that some people might call babushka, which is silly because babushka means like grandmother, and this scarf is not a grandmother, but it's something that Russian grandmothers would have worn. But that is normally, we might tie it like this, right? It's still cute, but it really does give that sort of Russian grandmother look, which I think is fine. But the key here, and I've seen this in another video, so this is not original, but I want to pass it on. It's just shifting the knot to the side. Okay? Shift it to the side. You can tie it again, or just tie it once. It's totally up to you. And I want to just say something about the style. This survived roller coasters. I wore this style to an amusement park, and I was going upside down and sideways. It was a terrible experience, but the scarf stayed on my head. So I want to tell you that this is a perfect scarf style if you're going sailboating, you know, if you're going to be going anything with lots of wind and turbulence and you don't want to lose your scarf. I have lost a scarf before in the mountains. So this is just the go-to style if you don't want to lose your scarf. It's also a really classic beach look. I mean, you could totally 1940s beach chick kind of vibes, you know. These glasses are slightly hideous on me because they're too small, but you get the idea. It's a very basic style. Jazz it up. Sunglasses of your choice or anything, and if someone calls you a babushka, you know what? Let them think what they want to, because no one is ever going to always like everything you do. And it stays on. Okay, that's the style. I'll give you once around, and this is also really pretty. Let your hair down on this one, and then like it can poke through, and that looks really nice. These are my 3 scarf tying tutorials for you today. I hope you enjoyed yourself and you feel inspired to do some vintage tying of your own. Let me know if you enjoy this kind of content in the comments below, because I'm thinking maybe I'll do some more of it in the future, because as you know, or maybe you don't know, I adore 1940s, 30s, anything vintage. So maybe I'll share some of my tips and tricks for you below. Thank you so much again for joining me on my channel, Girl of a Different Era, where we are making our story history, one creation at a time. Oh, don't mind me. I'm only waiting for Charles. I'm like a private man. Beware, maîtresse.